Good evening. What unfolded over the past 48 hours in Eastern Europe has sent a shockwave not only across the Ukrainian battlefield, but through NATO, the White House, and most importantly, the Kremlin. Ukraine launched an attack so precise, so disruptive, and so politically explosive that Moscow's immediate response was not just military, it was accusatory. Within minutes of the strike being confirmed, Russia publicly blamed the United States, not Kiev, for orchestrating the operation. And the speed with which the Kremlin issued that accusation reveals something deeper and far more dangerous. Russia believes the war has now reached a point where every major Ukrainian success is tantamount to a U.S. attack on Russia itself. That belief is not rhetorical. It is strategic, and it is the foundation of nearly every escalation risk the world faces right now. The attack in question was not a routine artillery hit or a drone strike against a supply depot. It was a highly complex, multi-layered operation that targeted one of Russia's most sensitive military nodes, a location previously considered too deep behind the lines, too secure, and too heavily monitored for Ukraine to reach without outside support. Russian intelligence officials admitted privately and reluctantly that the strike required satellite-level targeting, real-time surveillance data, and precision munitions that Ukraine does not deploy without coordination with Western partners. Moscow seized on that fact instantly, and instead of treating this as a battlefield loss, the Kremlin elevated it into the geopolitical realm, declaring that Washington had crossed a line. From Moscow's perspective, this isn't paranoia. It is a worldview shaped by decades of distrust and reinforced by the realities of the war. Russia sees U.S. support not as assistance to Ukraine, but as direct involvement. American intelligence is helping Ukraine identify weak points. American surveillance assets track Russian troop movements. American-made missiles hit Russian bases. American decision makers coordinate military packages specifically designed to cripple Russia's capabilities. So when this latest Ukrainian attack landed exactly where Russia feared most, it was only a matter of time before the Kremlin concluded and publicly declared that the United States was behind it. What unsettles Washington isn't simply the accusation, it's the context in which the accusation was made. Russia did not issue a diplomatic complaint. It did not summon U.S. officials for symbolic theatrics. It went straight to a narrative of retaliation, a narrative framed not around Ukraine, but around the United States. That shift matters because when a nuclear-armed great power stops blaming its immediate battlefield opponent and starts blaming its global rival, it signals that escalation ladders are about to get steeper. The mechanics of the attack themselves reveal why the Kremlin reacted so aggressively. Ukrainian forces executed a synchronized drone and missile operation that exploited a temporary rotation gap in Russian air defenses. They struck at a moment when electronic countermeasure units had shifted to another sector, when radar coverage briefly thinned, and when Russian officers were rotating between commands. The result was devastating for Moscow. Key equipment was destroyed. Several senior officers were killed. And perhaps most importantly, the strike disrupted a logistics cycle Russia had been preparing for weeks. The scale of the losses is something the Kremlin cannot hide. And when a great power suffers a sudden, unexpected blow, it looks for an explanation that preserves its prestige. Blaming Ukraine alone would imply Russian incompetence. Blaming the United States, however, allows Moscow to frame the strike as a confrontation between global powers, not a humiliating tactical defeat. This is a pattern seen throughout history. When great powers face setbacks, they redefine them as part of a larger strategic confrontation. It protects domestic legitimacy. It justifies future escalation. It prepares the population psychologically for a longer, harsher conflict. But what is truly dangerous is that Russia does not merely believe the U.S. is assisting Ukraine. It believes the United States is actively directing the war. And once a state internalizes that belief, its decision-making changes. Escalation becomes easier to justify. Red lines become tighter. Ambiguities become threats. And ambiguous attacks, cyber intrusions, drone interceptions, border incidents take on a meaning they did not carry before. Inside the United States, intelligence analysts are now assessing a shift in Russian political psychology. The Kremlin's language has changed. Its diplomatic tone has hardened. Its military deployments near NATO's border have increased in frequency and unpredictability. Its missile forces are operating at higher rotation rates. Its commanders are referencing Western involvement with increasing explicitness. And its propagandists are preparing the Russian public for the idea that the conflict is no longer with Ukraine, but with America itself.
All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Shakar here with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakak Quadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the whole full elect. Shalom. All right, I'm going to start off here in the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and let me see, verse 17. And it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them." Now, who's the modern day Medes? Speaking about the Russians, man. Okay, because ultimately, okay, that goes back to the land of Japheth. Okay, but now who's dwelling in that modern day area, man? Okay, it's the Russians. Listen, we shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So there's going to be no compromise. Okay, there's no way to compromise, okay, with the mindset, okay, that Russia's going to come with. Matter of fact, let me grab this real quick. Let me go to let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and we're going to start at the top. And it says, "And the word of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." So the Lord, okay, he's against, okay, Russia, man. But he's going to use Russia, okay, to destroy, okay, so-called America, okay, Babylon the Great. Again, it's the Son of Man, set thy face against Magog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And again, these are all Japhetic lands, okay, but now who's living in those lands? Okay, that's Russia. Listen, and say, "Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal." It says, "And I will turn thee back, listen, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." So you're going to have these nations, okay, that are going to join unto the Russians, okay, and they're going to have that military power, man. Okay, they're going to have weapons of mass destruction. Listen, Persia, okay, which is modern-day Iran, okay, Ethiopia, okay, going into your so-called African nations, okay, and Libya, another so-called African nation. It says, with them, all of them with shield and a helmet. It says, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, and the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Going into what? Turkey, man. Now, right now, Turkey, okay, they are a member of NATO, but they're going to turn against so-called America. You see it? And then also, you're going to have those other NATO nations turn as well. Listen, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company, see that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia going to lead these nations, okay, to destroy so-called America, man. Okay, Russia's going to be the chief leader, okay, that chief nation, okay, that's going to bring the destruction. But you're going to have all these other nations, okay, joined unto them, man. Matter of fact, let me grab this. Let me go to Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Now, who is the whore? Speaking about so-called America. Okay, and the beast being NATO, okay, and the EU nations. See, and those 10 horns originally were the vassal states, but now you got about almost 30 of them. You see? Listen, I'm going to read it again. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So all these nations, okay, they're going to come against, okay, so-called America. Listen, I shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And they're going to do that through what? Okay, those weapons of mass destruction. Listen, for the Most High hath put it in their hearts, meaning in their minds, to fulfill his will and to agree to give their kingdom, see, unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So yeah, there were vassal states, okay, joined unto so-called America, okay, but the time's going to come, okay, when the Lord's going to flip the switch, man. Okay, these nations are going to turn against so-called America and join into Russia, okay, and then hey, bring that destruction, man. Let me go back to Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13, and I'll read verse 17 again. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bowls also, listen, shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity. On the fruit of the womb, their eyes shall not spare children. Hey, so even, okay, the children here in so-called America, they're going to get it, man, okay? Because ultimately, they're ancient spirits, okay? But the Lord's not going to have pity, man. And he's going to put that spirit upon, okay, Russia and these other nations, not to hold back, man, and bring that destruction, okay, upon this wicked-ass nation, man, of America, so-called America, okay, Babylon the Great. Listen, and Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High, listen, overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how did the Lord destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, let's grab that. Let's go to Genesis 19, and we'll just get to the point. And verse 24, listen, then the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah. Listen, brimstone and fire from the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. Okay, and this time, hey, the Lord's going to bring them missiles, man. Ultimately, okay, that's going to bring the destruction, okay, of so-called America, okay? Babylon the Great is going to go down, man. So let me go back to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. I'll read it again. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. Now, who were the Chaldees? Okay, that was your ancient witches and warlocks, okay, of the Neo-Babylonian, okay, time period. Okay, but now in this time it's referring to the banking families, man. Okay, the so-called light bearers, okay, Lucifer, okay, because they're bearing that false light, man. Okay, but hey, they're going to lose their rulership, man. Okay, they're going to go down, man, through their witchcrafts, okay, through their abominations. You know, they've ruled in wickedness, man. You see? But the Lord's going to take that away from them. Listen, they should never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Pretty much telling you that a so-called America is going to be just a wasteland, okay, a wilderness, man. okay, for the unclean animals. Listen, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time, listen, is speaking about so-called America, and her time is near to come, and her days should not be prolonged. You see? Hey, so the time is near, man. Okay, the time of the destruction, okay, of this wicked ass queendom, okay, is getting ready to come forth, man. You see? And the Lord is showing us his signs, man. Okay, he's letting us know, okay, that he's near, man. Yahweh is sending his son, man, to bring the destruction, man, and bring deliverance, okay, to the elect of Israel. Let me get one more. Let me go to, let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 50, and let me see. Matter of fact, you know what, let me get this I'll get it in the blue letter so I can get it in the NLT. Jeremiah chapter 50, and let's go to verse 21, I believe. Yeah, listen, even the subheading says, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai's judgment on Babylon, okay, which is America. It says, go up, my warriors, against the land of Merathaim. Okay, who are the Lord's warriors, man? That's his nations, okay, that have been assembled, okay, to bring that destruction, man. And they're going to be led, okay, by the Russians. Okay, you can see the tensions turning up. Okay, it's only a matter of time. But we know that, okay, prophecy, okay, it's got to come forth, man. Okay, the mark of the beast has got to come first. You see, when they implement that chip, okay, the mandatory implementation, okay, of that microchip, okay, then things are going to go fast, man. Okay, the missile's going to fly. Okay, we're going to be fully in Jacob's trouble. Okay, and the Lord's going to bring, okay, this destruction upon, okay, again, so-called America. Okay, but there's going to be a deliverance, okay, of the elect. Again, it says, go up, my warriors, against the land of Merathaim. Merathaim means double rebellion, you see? And the root word is mar or mara, okay, which, hey, that's where we get America, man. Okay, it means bitter. Even America, okay, in the Spanish, amargo, okay, means bitter, man, because this is a bitter place, you see? And the Lord's going to put an end to it. Again, it says, go up, my warriors, against the land of Merathaim, against the people of Pekad. Now, when you go into that word Pekad, it means punishment. Hey, because there's going to be a brutal punishment, okay, upon so-called America, man. It says, pursue, kill, and completely destroy them. It says, and as I have commanded you, said the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai. So he's going to put a certain spirit, okay, upon these nations, man. Okay, and that's beginning with the Russians. You see, these nations are going to come against, okay, America, man, and burn it with fire. Listen, it says, let the battle cry be heard in the land, a shout of great destruction. It says, Babylon, the mightiest hammer of all the earth, lies broken and shattered. Babylon is destroyed. It says, Babylon is desolate, see, among the nations. It says, listen, Babylon, for I have set a trap for you. You are caught. Listen, for you have fought against the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai. Because everything that so-called America, okay, represents is nothing but wickedness, man. It goes totally against, okay, the structure of the Lord, man. Okay, this place claims to be a Bible-fearing nation, okay, but it does everything contrary to what the scriptures say. Hey, so the Lord going to bring a destruction, okay, upon this wicked-ass place, man. Listen, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai has opened his armory. So these are the Lord's missiles, and brought out weapons, listen, to vent his fury. The terror that falls upon the Babylonians will be the work, listen, of the sovereign Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yoshai, of heaven's armies. Hey, so the Lord going to do it, man. Again, he's going to put the spirit upon these nations, man, okay, to bring that heat, man. Listen, yes, come against her from distant lands. It says, break open the granaries, crush her walls and houses into heaps of rubble, destroy her completely and leave nothing. You see, that's why a so-called America is going to be a wasteland. Okay, it's going to be desolate. Okay, it's going to be a monument of how not to conduct yourself, man. You see, listen, destroy even the young bulls. It will be terrible for them too. Slaughter them all. because this place is going to be like a big altar, man. Okay, it's going to be a big altar, okay, for all these nations, okay, that dwell in so-called America, man. Because you got pretty much every nation, okay, represented here, man. Okay, you got the Edomites, the wicked. Then you got the heathen nations, man. And then you also have 2/3 of our own people that are going to take part in that destruction. Again, it's just destroy even her young bulls. It will be terrible for them too. Slaughter them all. For Babylon's day of reckoning, listen, has come. It says, listen to the people who escaped Babylon as they tell in Jerusalem how the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our power, listen, has taken vengeance against those who destroyed his temple. You see? And that's going to be the elect, man. You see? They're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Listen, for the destruction of so-called America. See? And the Lord's going to use, okay, the Russia, man. Okay? And that's going to bring forth all these nations to turn against so-called America and bring destruction, okay, upon her, man. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.